Hey, it's me, Brendan. Sorry, I may sound a bit different, but I have allergies, and well, right now here in North Carolina, I feel like I'm getting hit harder with them. So you'll have to excuse, well, the fact that I sound different. But it's the Final Four in South Carolina. They're about to face Gonzaga in 30 minutes. A game I'm certainly going to watch. I mean, what kind of fan would I be if I didn't watch it? Also, I mean, beating Marquette 93 to 73, I think. Yeah, I think that's the most points South Carolina has had in the entire season. That's what I want to say, and I'm going to stick with that. Also, then beating Duke, I want to say 88 to 81. Who would have guessed that we would have been able to beat Duke? And who would have guessed that the very next game we would just manhandle Baylor, winning 70 to 50? And the very next game, I was like, oh my god, we're probably we have a chance to make the Final Four. We've already beaten this team once. Why can't we do it again? And I was like, yeah. Also, they've beaten us once, so they could do it again, and it wouldn't be surprising at all. South Carolina, they're they weren't the most talented team in the tournament. Well, that's what people would argue at the beginning of the tournament. Now, they're probably not, but they're one of the four most talented tournament teams that got to the tournament. Well, if you want to look at, well, based off performance, they're one of the four best teams in the tournament. Out of the four remaining, they're one of the four best. And out of the 64 that, no, 68, I have to pay respect to the first four as well. Out of the 68 that were in the tournament, they're one of the four best in terms of just how they've performed in their games. So wearing my lucky South Carolina hat, hope it works. I'll explain the stories behind my lucky hat later. Not in this video. I'm gonna wait maybe a week or so to do that. Also, all the respect to the people in the Northwest. Honestly, you know why I don't want to see a battle between the Northwest schools. I want South Carolina to win. I mean, what kind of fan would I be if I didn't want South Carolina to win? South Carolina has played with the most heart and the most determination. They just wear down their opponents. First 10 minutes of the game, they've been outscored by opponents. Once you total all four of the games together, 71 to 61, Florida was, well, I think Florida was one of the only two games, well, at least one game. Well, Florida, what I'm trying to say is the only team that I remember us being up on in the 10th minute was Florida. That's because I looked at these stats right before making this video. Also, I have to give all the credit to Gonzaga. I honestly didn't think that you'd even make it past the round of 32. I have to say I'm one of those who did not believe in you. But now I believe that you're a great team. I believe that you could beat us. Though that's not going to be an easy task. We will wear you down. Well, I say we, but I'm not part of the team. In fact, I go to a different college, so, well. South Carolina is the team that, well, they're the Cinderella team. I understand the arguments for Gonzaga, people saying, oh, they're not going to make the Final Four. I understand. It's their first time in the Final Four, too. Either way, it's going to be at least one team's first time in the championship. Gonzaga, I have to say, honestly, I was rooting for South Dakota State in that game. Yeah. Because, to be honest, I think you're a great team, but I don't like you. I don't. And, well, yeah, you guys had a tough time with South Dakota State in the first half of that game. You guys were up by, I think, 3 at the half. But then you beat Northwestern on, well, because of what may have been an error of a call, or an errant call, or whatever you want to call it. And then you had a tough time with West Virginia, who a lot of people have said is the slightly less talented version of South Carolina. Honestly, all due respect to West Virginia, you guys did great. And, well, sad your season had to end. And against Xavier, Gonzaga, you guys did great. I can't believe that South Carolina is going to face you guys in the Final Four. I mean, I had 1 out of my 9 brackets. I had South Carolina winning it. That bracket is already busted because I actually had Iowa State making the championship game against South Carolina. Yeah, that was very disappointing, Iowa State. I thought you guys had it. but you also got to give talent. Well, again, also, I know Gonzaga has some really, really big players who I would look like a toddler to. Well, not a toddler, but I would look like a midget. No offense to anyone out there, but I mean, 7'1". Yeah, he's probably going to be pretty hard to guard against, but I think Sindarius Stormwell can do it. Also, now I'm moving on to the other side of the bracket. North Carolina, congrats on your 20th Final Four appearance. Seriously, congratulations. I honestly hope that South Carolina wins and they face you in the Final Four. I would love to have a battle with the Carolinas. Hell, I'd be practically right in the middle of it. Jeez, I may have said too much about where I live. But seriously, that will be an awesome matchup. I mean, you guys beat Texas Southern. Yeah, that wasn't a surprise. You guys had trouble with Arkansas. That was a surprise. Honestly, SEC represent, but you guys did have a tough time with them, and you guys are the lone ACC team. I think that you guys can win the championship, but honestly, I hope you don't. Also, I hope Oregon doesn't. I hope Gonzaga doesn't. Or also, you guys beat Butler. Yeah, that I didn't see Butler winning that game. Then you guys had a very close one against a team that had it made the Final Four. I would have been terrified because, yeah, Kentucky, they manhandled us. Oh wait, that was it Dwayne Notice or Chris Silva? Either way, we were short a player against them. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Congratulations, Roy Williams and the UNC Tar Heels. Hope to see you in the finals. Hope we get to the finals. Also, moving on to Oregon. Wow. Oregon beating Iona the first round. That wasn't surprising at all. Then beating Rhode Island after having a tough time with Rhode Island. Yeah, that was I expected that. Then beating Michigan after the run I had seen Michigan make. I was like, Michigan's probably going to make the Final Four. I'm glad I was wrong, but at the same time, I'm not happy I was wrong. Uh, well, I'm undecided about how I feel about that because I know if Oregon wins, that we're going to have a lot of people talking smack from the Northwest. Same with Gonzaga. Also, I love what you did. I love what Oregon did against Kansas. Kansas, Frank Martin's former rival back when he coached at Kansas State. I mean, honestly, what is there more to say? Also, Sindarius Thornwell, easily he's the SEC MVP, and honestly, he was a he was a East Regional MOP. I don't know what that is. And honestly, I think he could be I think he's the best part of South Carolina. I mean, he's the whole reason that we actually have. Well, he's not the reason we have PJ Dozier. His family went to South Carolina. His dad and his uncle were the Twin Towers at South Carolina. His sister played women's basketball for South Carolina. She made the Final Four, and I can't remember who it was, but one of South Carolina's players' cousins decided to go to UCF. I think it was Dozier's, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to fact check that right now because I got a game I need to watch, and also, tell me what I need to work on. I know I need to work on some stuff, but I have to say, oh my God, I am completely impressed. Also, the women's tournament. Who would have guessed after last year getting beat by UConn, Mississippi State beats after getting beat by UConn in the NCAA tournament, in the women's NCAA tournament last year by 60, who would have believed that Mississippi State will beat them by 2 in overtime? So we're having an all SEC matchup. South Carolina Gamecocks have a possibility to become men and women's basketball champion teams. Uh, in the past, well, in the past few years, at least since Gino, I'm not even sure how to pronounce that last name. After Gino, whatever his last name is, started coaching the UConn women's team, they won 11 championships. 3 of those times, the UConn men's team also won the national championship. It would be awesome for South Carolina to do both. Also, you Clemson fans, yeah, I understand what you're saying that we wouldn't root for you guys, but honestly, especially with everything that's gone on, if you had won, you did win the college football championships. If you were in the Final Four in both men and women's basketball, I would not be rooting for you because you guys would have every right to brag against us. But if it were the same situation, only reversed, you guys were in both the men and women's Final Four, I have to say I might root for you guys. If South Carolina had won the football playoffs. Also, goodbye. Everyone have a great day. And have fun watching the Final Four.